Mike Lunney, I like it when we do new things, man.
Oh, you bet.
Relative to the conversation that we've, that's probably not the best opener, but tell me how it's going, brother. You having a great week?
Man, it's going great. I mean, it's nice not having a job. And I've got a good friend here of mine, Mr. Juan Ramirez.
Well, Mr. Ramirez, how are you, my friend? From where?
How are you, sir? From Cameron, Texas.
Cameron, Texas. For those who may not know, because we have people in Germany listening, Cameron's close to what?
We're in the Triangle, an hour north of Austin, an hour south of Waco, and an hour east of College Station.
So what brings Mr. Ramirez our direction today? Why is he in the Ask Mike cave? What's going on?
I tell you what, I had the luxury of going out to Cameron and helping judge UIL. And I met this man, and we've been best friends forever now.
BFF.
He's one of those guys, you know, those certain personalities you talk to and you feel like you've known for 30 years. And that's Mr. Ramirez. So I'm going to give him an opportunity to give us a little background on his upbringing and how you got to this point.
All right. Well, like you said, I was born and raised in Cameron. Went through the band program there in Cameron, and just kind of fell in love with music. And these days, I do have a job, but I work for myself. I'm an oil field safety consultant, and actually on my way out to Odessa to do some training.
I'm sorry. I mean, cool.
Yeah. Not always the easiest place to drive to, 6 hours away, but work is work.
Right.
And meeting Mike back in February was great. Knowing people that in the band world that know everyone else that you know, like Travis Hobson.
Oh, yeah.
Travis is originally from Cameron, so it just made it easy to talk with Mike and kind of take care of that group.
Help me understand the capacity that you're. How did y'all meet each other?
I'm actually the Yoe band booster president.
Okay.
Working on year 13.
Yeah.
Mike, you let a booster in here?
Yeah, on purpose. Generally, they're required to have their passports stamped. But
awesome.
But no, he was taking care of all the festivities and making sure meals were done and air conditioner was right, and it's a pretty important job at contest, and he did it well.
So, did you just say 13 years?
13th year.
Man, he's a trooper.
And my daughter actually graduated 10 years ago.
Well, I was going to ask that, are your kids really bad at academics, or you really love being a band booster?
I really love the band program.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Kids are good. Kids are good.
Yeah.
Cool. So, taking a leap here, I bet there's some things that Mr. Ramirez can share with us. As you know, our focus is kind of talking to directors who are kind of getting started at this, or maybe they're isolated from, out the farther west you go, the more isolated you feel. Towns are 50 miles apart, et cetera.
Exactly.
But maybe some great ideas of how they can work with their boosters or tips for just creating a stronger team between the directors and the boosters, or is that kind of what you're thinking there, Mike?
Yeah, because I think one of the biggest concerns that I hear voiced to me from band directors is working with their band parents.
Right.
Because the band parents want to do well, they want to help, but there has to be a relationship here where we understand each other and we present to them what our vision is. And we listen to them. What is their vision for the program? Right. And so hopefully we can give some ideas in this, because that's a real weak factor nowadays as more parents work more hours. When I was going to school, it was pretty much the dads worked and the moms were stay-at-home moms.
Right.
And so we had lots of uniform moms and things like that. it's different nowadays. So we're going to pick Juan's brain for some things of how he's worked the system, how he's encouraged other parents to become involved, and how he's helped directors protect themselves from themselves.
I knew where you were going.
Yeah. I've
Band
had
parents
many
beyond the concessions.
Oh my gosh. There's been times I've had my band parent president come in and shut the door behind them and say, we need to talk.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. And then granted, I get to make the final decision, but their opinion carries a ton of weight of what's happening because they're in the trenches. So Juan, what's something that pops up in your mind as far as annual goals or program vision, student success?
Would you mind if I ask something first? Mr. Ramirez,
No, go ahead.
do this for me. What is your concept? What is your idea of what a healthy band parent booster organization and the directors, what does that look like?
So the way we kind of enveloped everything is having families that want to help and to break that line of clickiness. Sometimes you'll get into booster clubs and certain cliques make it harder for families to come in and want to join and do stuff.
Yeah.
Like Mike said, with everybody working or having multiple students that are in ag, volleyball, football, they're spread out.
And single parents.
It's hard. Something I was sharing with Mike this morning. Cameron is a Title I school. So UIL states that's 30% of enrollment is at the poverty level or below. Cameron ISD district-wide is 70%.
Wow.
So to have the success in the organization that we have, we're probably the strongest organization in actually the whole town.
Nice.
I hate to say it that way, but it's everything we do is geared to take care of the kids, give them anything that they need to be successful. And just not successful, go to day-to-day living. Because like Mike says, some of these kids are single parent families. And at that 70% level, if we can do stuff for them, we will. And that in turn gives you better students that the directors can deal with. You hate to say deal with,
right?
But
yeah,
it gives them the best chance to be a healthy program.
Just the fact that they're not having to worry about some of the things and they can give their concentration to the program and to school and to being successful.
Exactly. I was in band there from 90 to 94. Luckily, I was a big kid. Tubers were provided, but everybody else had to rent or buy their instruments. Cameron ISD, we provide every instrument to every student, junior high and high school.
Nice.
There are schools that you have to pay to be in band.
Yeah.
To help pay for cleaning of the uniforms, meals, stuff like that.
Activity fees.
Our band now pays, never have. Used to, they would pay $20 for their band shirt. Now they don't even pay for band shirts.
Nice.
They get fed every Friday, whether it's a home game or an away game. I'll say his name, Stephen Moss, started years ago when he was in Cameron.
Yeah, good man.
To help provide for the kids that were a little more unfortunate.
And some they can't get anywhere.
No, we're
between Friday afternoon and Friday home game.
Yeah.
They're stuck.
We're country.
Yeah.
So a lot of ag kids, buses don't run back and forth in time. So we kept all the kids there and we feed them every Friday. And the one thing I love, and this is uncommon for the band world, our band program does not run concession stands at all.
Boy, that was our bread and butter.
I would rather burn parents out moving instruments and props than work in a concession stand.
Yeah.
Sure.
But it's always been the ag program in Cameron.
Okay.
So I don't mind that at all.
Cool. So I guess, do you, it sounds so obvious, but I'm going to ask it. Do you just sit down with the director and let's look at the year and let's see what we want to do? So you guys in the parent organization can kind of make plans to figure out how to make that happen?
Yes and no. I've been through 4 sets of directors in 13
I think you might be running them off.
What's the common thread?
That could be. Or I've made their job so easy
They've gone.
that they flourished.
They flourished.
There you go.
Because I try to take away a lot of stuff that they let them deal with the kids. Get the marching show on. I will handle everything else. So as far as ordering hotels, meal plans, all that stuff, that's all handled through the Booster Club.
Nice.
Just to give them one less thing to worry about. So our directors, they will come to us and say, hey, this is kind of what we need. And then here's a list of wants. And then we make it happen one way or the other.
Very
Say,
cool.
do they give you the if perfect world list? This is what we'd love to have relative to this is what we have to have.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, I am kind of bougie myself. So if they want something, I kind of want it too.
Especially if it's bougie.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Shriver, John Shriver's our band director at the moment. He knows that I have the bouginess. So he'll send me links. Hey, get a look at this. What do you think?
If he's smart, he won't say, he'll just say, hey, check, did you see that? That's cool.
He's done that. And did that with Phil Dots.
Yeah.
Which is not cheap, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And I'm not giving them a plug.
They're good.
Well worth it.
Yeah.
And boosters did not hesitate.
Yeah. If you can afford it, it's worth every penny.
Yes. Yes. And we're already looking to do a revamp. We're waiting for the parking lot to get blacktopped again, and then we'll do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, no, they do. They have their expectations, and then if it's something out of our realm, we'll make it happen.
You know, it's funny you say that. Over the summer, there was a span, and my local guys, I love you, but it was funny. You knew that company came to town because this school would post, just got our field redone. Then the next school, just got our field redone. You could tell where they went on what day. It's kind of funny.
I love it.
But it's things like that. The communication is key between the directors and the boosters. And there's not one booster that will ever deny our kids. So if it's something to improve the program or make the directors' lives easier, we're going to get it done.
Well, see, you bring up because listen, 13 years is not the norm. We all agree with that. But how do you find the parents in your organization? Do you have a standard that you say this is what, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but this is what we do, and this is the attitude we do it with. If you want to be part of that, come on.
I'm not going to say there's not a standard, but I can tell you I had 2 or 3 years where I had to tell parents, I don't need you.
Yeah.
Because we had so many helpers.
Yeah.
It wasn't that we didn't want them. We just had a lot of helpers.
Right.
And that's a good problem to run into. And then we're very cultural, different ethnic groups.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have some that don't feel comfortable being in front of the public, but will do anything for you behind the scenes. And we have that in a great source there in Cameron. So,
so
it's
Mike,
nice.
come at it from the band director side. Did you find, because I don't think you had one person take it that long, but do you find that
No.
it's easier to sit down early and say, all right, let's figure out how we work together. Let's get past all the yes man kind of, and sometimes you need somebody just to say yes and go get it done. I get that. But did you say, here's my expectations for the parent group, or?
Kind of approached it very accountant, ledger sheet kind of thing. I would sit down with the band parent president, a staff member, a fellow band director, my drum major, head drum major, and we would I had a whole list of everything that had to be done for the whole year, and we'd figure out what are things that I have to do. I have to do this. No one else can do this. Then what things can
meaning
the staff
because
do?
of competence and or knowledge and or you're the you're the hired person that is the buck's going to stop there. Yeah.
Turning in eligibility, that can't be anyone else's job. That has to be my job. Entering UIL, that has to be my job. But then we'd figure out what the band parents could. We actually left them to the very end. And my band parent president loved that, because again, now the staff can do this. And then I'd say, okay, drum major, what things on this list can the students all do? And they would check them all off. We'd stick it in that category. Then we'd take everything that was left, and then we would figure out the two positions of band parents. One is working and doing service. The other is making money. So we'd figure out, so we didn't even talk about making money yet. We're talking about like, how can we do uniform fittings? How can we do this? How can we do bus sponsors and chaperones? How can we make sure the buses are safe? How can we do all this stuff? And we'd get all that done. Then finally we'd get all that figured out. And then we would go to the financial side. And I would say, these are the things that I would like the boosters to do. And they would tell me the things they think the boosters can do. And I think this is really funny, because we talked about it earlier. My band parent presidents and treasurers would never give me an honest answer of how much money was in the band parent account. They treated me like a wife that couldn't be trusted with a checkbook. So they'd say, well, can we get that done? They say, yeah, I think we've got somewhere. Yeah, I'm not.
We'll
how much do we have in that account?
Look.
Yeah, how much is in the account? Well, it's earmarked, and there's things we anticipate. Well, how much do we have? Well, we really don't know. They knew exactly.
I'll get back to you on that.
And so they would pick up the slack where the school couldn't. And like he talked about Cameron being Title I. That's a big deal, because a lot of those kids would have never survived band in a more, I'll just say, affluent economy. The school I last taught at, we were at 98%. We were only 2% under poverty level. Wow. And that brings with it its own set of problems, but that was never a concern whether a kid could be in band. And we had $30 activity fee, and that was it. We didn't charge for horn rental, uniform rental, because the school took care of that. But it is a different process, because a school I taught at, my second job, we were in that same category, not near as successful as what Cameron does. But the kids, we had to figure out a way to get a mouthpiece and to figure out a way to get them to the band hall, because things happen. The families, we were the most structured environment their kids experienced.
Correct. Was
the band program. So I have all respect in the world for what Juan's talking about. But yeah, that's kind of how I approached it. My big question with Juan, not big question, but a question, is so many directors, they can't get parents involved, so they want to start a band parent organization. And so I always tell them, I don't know if I would start that. I would just find like two or three parents, and just say, hey, can you help me with this? And then maybe after 2 years go, we kind of need to have a band parent organization. We've got 4.
Yeah.
Let's all have an office. Let's do this. And it's a hard process because people are scared to death sometimes because they don't want to become band parent president, all of a sudden figure out they've got a 50-hour-a-week workload on top of their job. So I guess, Juan, what would you tell a young band director at a 1A school saying, I just can't get the parents to come up and help?
Truly getting that first or 1 or 2 people to help will get that exposure for other parents to see. And then they're going to want to, hey, what can I do? And now they're offering themselves to help out. And so that kind of eases it in.
Yeah.
But we've always had a booster club in Cameron. Like I said, I graduated in 94. And a lot of those people that were running it then, their kids have been through the program. Now I have their kids coming through the program. And so it's been a culture that it's expected in the community that we take care of our kids.
Nice.
And, if we're shorthanded on a Friday night, we can literally
go to the
in front of the stands,
start pointing at people
and wave, and people will come out of the stands. And it's just the darndest thing for people to see. I won't name the school that we were at on a Friday night. I do the away game announcing for halftime.
Okay.
And I walked into their press box, and their booster guy says, "We hate you." And I'm like,
I get that a lot.
Yeah. And I'm like, I get that. I totally understand. For so many reasons, could I at least know yours?
Yeah.
He said, you have 18 parents out there. I said, I didn't bring them all. And he just
so you just dig a little, poke.
Yeah, because I figured I could do this.
This is just the varsity.
Yeah, let's see how far his hatred's going to go.
Yeah.
And so his question was, how do you get so many people to help? Straight face, you just looked at him. I pay him. I have so much money in the booster account. We just pay crews. And that didn't go over well.
And it's not true, by the way.
Totally not. Well, I do feed them.
You do feed them.
I do feed them. As an organization, we feed all boosters, all bus drivers.
Yeah.
Anybody who is taking care of the program, we will shell out the extra money to take care of them too. And y'all been through it.
Yeah.
Marching contest, prelims, finals. You're there 18 hours.
That's an all-day sucker. Yeah.
It's all day. And you got to pass out Gatorade. You got to pass out snacks. You have meals, suntan lotion, water, all this kind of stuff. The directors are busy too.
Yeah.
So you got to help out.
Yeah.
And our parents will love the travel. They might not always love being on a bus, but they'll come in their personal vehicles, which is I'm still okay with.
Good enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes better.
Yes. Because if
They're in a better mood when they get there.
Exactly.
That, and sometimes they say things on the bus. You have to really train the parents to be chaperones.
Exactly.
Now, I don't mean that as a put down, but sometimes it's better if some people ride their cars.
And the ones that do get on buses, they go through a background check and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So, we're not putting anything that's going to be harmful to the kids or the program.
Correct.
That's going to follow our kids around.
What's great that I'm hearing from you is those people put in that time and effort. You take care of them.
Correct.
Yeah,
because they're making my job easier.
Yeah.
And because, like I said, some people like to be behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's some people who want to bask in the glory.
Look at me, move this prop.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
I do have 2 vice presidents now. I'm getting older. I'm a little. I know the camera add 10 more pounds. So marching season, I kind of have heart palpitations. So I need an extra vice president just in case something happens. But they take care of the chaperones, and they deal with the assistant director who gets everybody who's needed for props.
Mm-hmm.
So each person kind of has their own delegations as well, which is totally different from year 1 to my year 13.
Yeah.
Year 1 through 5, I didn't want any parents anywhere. They moved their props. Everything else I took care of.
Yeah.
And not that I didn't trust them. I'm a control freak, kind of like band directors, kind of the same thing. But now everybody wants to be involved. And so it kind of makes it easier on us as an organization, as far as the officers, of getting stuff done.
Yeah,
sure.
And so it's been nice.
It sounds like you created culture that people wanted to be a part of.
Correct. And that's when I go talk to other schools that have booster programs or want to set up booster programs. It's kind of my 4-pillar approach. And culture, as far as parent wise, has to be there. A good support group, which is your booster club, a good community, a good group of kids. And you can have bad kids. There's always going to be 1 or 2 bad kids, but you're going to treat them the same. They're going to get the same food, expectations, everything on the same level. And then you have to have a school district that's going to support you. And when you have all 4 working together, a program is going to either have success or run as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And we're in that state right now where we're kind of in both.
Yeah.
Where it's running smooth and we're having success.
Well, I tell you what, you talked about feeding everybody. I want to throw out a band hack here. We would go to away games and our band parents would feed the band, but they fed all the gatekeepers and all the administrators on the visitor side. That paid huge dividends. Then when we go to a contest like aerial marching, we would feed every person working the parking lot, golf cart guys, gate people, pass people, because if you need to get a prop through a certain gate and you've already given them a barbecue sandwich, it's nice. You've already greased the wheels. So it was done out of love, but there was an expectation.
Never picked up trash because the cart guys,
that's
just leave it there. We'll drive around and get
we'll
it for
take
you.
care of it. We take all our trash to the dumpsters ourselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I need
we
you
try
to finish
to be cleaner than when we got there.
Yeah.
And they appreciate it.
Yeah.
And
I need you to finish the hate story. Finish the hate story.
So he honestly thought we paid him.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, we don't have that kind of money to pay a full crew. They just pay the president and that's it. And I left it like that. And then I did the halftime announcement. And so before I left, I'm like, I don't get paid either. I'm just like you. It's just, I have a better program.
I don't know how to handle it.
One paid band parent, and that was the person in charge of the concessions, because that was like a 30-hour-a-week job. So we finally voted as a band parent organization, we will pay that one person, and they actually had to pay tax on it.
Yeah.
So they were an employee of the band parents. So, but yeah, it's a labor of love. My dad didn't meet your standard, but he was band parent president for 10 years. And that's just because we were all the kids were in band, and my mom and dad weren't good about planning. So he had band kids for 10 years in the high school band.
I say my kids are 4 years apart. I was thinking about college. As soon as one ends, the next one starts.
Yeah.
My treasurer.
Yeah.
5 kids through the band program, and Emma's left. She's a senior this year. But then I'll have her grandkid next year going into 6th grade. So she might get a couple years off, and then she's going to have to come back.
Yeah. There's no choice. No choice in this.
Okay. So it sounds to me like and listen, I'm going to dumb it down like I do everything. You see a need, meet a need. That's kind of how you operate?
Correct. And you'll have all these organizations. They want to have meetings once, twice, 3 times a month. You will be shocked. Our last booster meeting was the week before state last year.
Yeah.
Everything else, the officers will take care of in a group chat because all these parents are working and they're out. Concert and sight reading. You saw myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had one married couple come in to feed the kids working. And that was all the boosters that we used for hosting a 2-day contest.
And that's such a good point because people don't want to come to meetings.
No.
They don't. And with today's technology, why do we waste their time?
Here, say, why have a meeting that an email can handle?
Yeah.
Correct.
And I'll say this, when you're allowing people to do that, they don't always do it the way you would want it done. But as long as it gets done, bite your tongue.
Right.
Just let it get done. Get out of the way. Because it was like, this guy's amazing because I always loved with my crew going to like state marching. All I had to worry about was warm up, performance, judges' critique. That was it. I didn't have to worry about a read, a bottle of water, a kid's ibuprofen, anything. Uniforms, equipment, trailers, nothing. They took care of all that. They took great pride in it. That was their band. I'm just an employee of them. If you think about it,
right.
I'm the employee. I work for them.
Right.
And so it's amazing.
And there's so many moving parts.
You can't do it all.
So much stuff to do that our goal is to try to take away as much as we can to make your life easier, especially contest dates, state marching. That's not a short walk around the Alamo Dome.
Oh, gosh.
You know, so having people spread out, and we have great assistant directors as well. So like the ibuprofen and stuff like that. There's enough people on location to take care of everything.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I feel blessed by having the core group that we have running everything.
But it seems this is kind of what I'm hearing, and you guys can take it and run with it, or just go, yeah, you're right. But what I hear you guys saying when you're talking is there's a lot of servant leadership going on here. It's not about titles. It's not about, don't you know I'm the band booster president, or don't you know I'm the head director, know your place. It's more of, what can we do?
Kiss the ring.
To help these kids get where we all want them to be as a group, as an organization, as again, as our community, is the way I like it.
And you are 99% correct.
Okay.
Everything's for the kids. There is no doubt for the success for the kids, the community, and the school district. That 1%. I'm glad this isn't a call-in show. Somebody from Cameron would call in and say, "You like to be called the Prez," and I do.
Not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna sugarcoat it. My title makes me feel like I want people to see I'm doing this for your kids. And that's why they're so willing to help, because they know they don't have the time. And I'm willing to give that for their kids.
So cool.
It makes me feel good because programs from the 90s to now in Cameron are totally different. And I'm living vicariously through the band program. My daughter's state honor band ring, from time to time, I put it on.
Slip it on.
And it's been a couple of times. I'll put it on, start a summer band, wear it around, and show the kids, get me a marching one, and I can retire.
There you go.
I think they figured out if they don't get me one, I'll stay.
You won't retire.
They'll withhold the scores.
They're just yeah.
We need the silver.
Right, exactly. But yes, everything, the culture of the community and the booster program is all built for the success of the students. And that goes to the directors as well. Because if we can make their life easier and give them stuff that they need, that's what we're there for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our goal. Whether it's one of us or 15 of us, it's going to get done.
I think that's something that so needs to be protected. When you develop it and you get it there, to squish the politics, to squish the look at me's, to squish the anything that would divide. When you got it to the place that you're describing, it gives those kids the freedom to be amazing.
Exactly.
They don't have to worry about whose parents are upset or worry about, well, my mama said, or you know what I mean? And maybe that doesn't happen anywhere except in some of the places I've been. But when
it
you
happens
find
everywhere. It happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So talk about that. How do you handle that when somebody decides they've got a better idea?
Remember that 1%?
Yep.
I'm the president. And it doesn't happen often. Your affluent people, the people in town, there's always that one or two. We have the money. We have the say. It's not like that. The culture is not like that in Cameron.
Right.
And it's a blessing to have, because I've talked to other schools and they've said the same, well, so-and-so won't let us do this, or they'll pull their funding if we don't do it this. And I think that's why most bylaws give you a 2-year window.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you don't have kids in band, you can't be a booster member. Well, if somebody in the community wants to help and they can pass a background check, let them help.
And you're right, Juan. It's interesting that we don't put that boundary on athletic boosters or ag boosters.
Yep.
But for some reason, bands have gotten into this. At least to be an officer, you must have a kid in the band.
Yeah.
So I think too, in conflict resolution, I think my band parent president solved a lot of things before they came to my office. I called it fixing things in Sunday school.
Right.
When parents are sitting around and they're going, why does Lunney have the kids coming up at this time for this contest? I'm going to give him a call. And another parent goes, oh, no. You don't understand. We've got to load the buses and we've got to get there. He's got to feed them breakfast. There's a time to check in. And so a lot of problems. But the conflict that I want to ask Juan about, because my band parent presidents were great at this. They would help with conflicts between me, band, and administration. Do you ever get involved in those?
Yes, I'm going to say yes.
Of course, now you're serving. See, I'm retired.
Yeah,
I have a little more of a blank check.
There has never been a conflict between boosters, parents, or administration. They have seen the culture that we're providing for the kids, and they give us what we need as well. They learn to give to the program, and which, like the field dots, that's a huge purchase.
Yeah,
and of course that's not always budgeted in a band program.
Yeah, it's like buying uniforms.
Exactly, and so administration did come and say, you're doing this? Yeah. It's something that's going to make them successful and no problems. They actually enjoyed seeing it, and it just helped renew them into seeing what success is, what things are needed to be successful.
Yeah.
Because there's so many tools out there that in a small country town, we don't get. We don't have tutors that can come out that aren't driving an hour.
Yeah. You don't have full-blown lesson programs.
Right. No lesson programs. That was 4 years ago that we did the field dots.
Yeah.
We'd never had field dots before. So everything was chalk, a little bit of spray paint, and you kind of make it work.
Yeah.
And you could see the learning curve from chalk to field dots, just how quickly shows were progressing.
Mm-hmm.
And administration has been great. They actually come and ask. They'll come to me from time to time. What do y'all need?
Yeah. I love it.
They love. It's
They
not
just,
a need. It's
in my
a
school,
want.
they would cut me out of the dealing. The band parent president would talk to the soup, and they'd tell me what they're buying.
Yeah.
And you just kind of go, okay.
Yeah. It'd be great to have better shelves. Cool. And I think my band parents, presidents especially, were masters of the art of going to the admin, not complaining, but playing stupid. They would go to the superintendent and go, so we've got it set up this way, and Mr. Lunney said it's kind of hurting the band. Could you explain this to me? Because I don't understand why we're doing it this way. They would never go in and say, our band deserves better. And after the superintendent explained it, sorry, Joey Light, after the superintendent explained it about 5 times, finally the superintendent would go, that doesn't make sense. Let's fix this. And so it worked. They were masters at that. So they would never go in like with pitchforks. They would just make an appointment at whatever time was good for the soup or the principal and say,
show me what I'm missing.
Show me what I'm missing, because this doesn't explain this to me like I'm a 5-year-old. I don't get it.
Right.
So that's a very important part for you band directors out there, that your band parent president can do things you could never dream of.
Yep.
As far as back to politics.
Well, I would think that the administrator is not going to be instantly, here comes the band director. What does he want?
Right.
It's
and
a
they
parent.
pay me.
Right.
So they can literally look me in the eye and say, shut up and go do your job.
Don't have time. Yeah.
They can't do that to a band parent president.
Oh, definitely.
We use that to our advantage.
And fortunately, sorry.
Yeah.
Our superintendents have been amazing. Our principal, out of this world.
Yeah.
They listen, and if there's something they can do, they'll do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you might have to wait a year.
Yeah.
But they don't forget.
But at least they explained it.
Exactly.
I always told my soup that if I don't get what I want, can you give me a good reason? And I was okay with that. They said, we can do that in 2 years. In 2 years, we'll have that figured out. But this is why we can't do it now. And I was like, perfectly fine.
Valid for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Better than go do your job.
Yeah. Because I'm in a situation with our school district. I was actually on the hiring board for band directors.
I love it.
So they have 2 individuals that aren't bound to the school, but understand the band world. So I gave them a list of my top 5 directors to go after. And then the top 5, if you see their application, don't.
Yeah.
But they have that in them as well, that they care enough about the program that they want to hear what the boosters or the community saying.
Yes.
Because they don't want to see the program the community or the administration want to see a down year.
Yeah.
So let's do what we can.
And I tell you what, 99% of the time, administration doesn't do anything purposely to hurt. They just don't understand how we operate.
You're saying, and not in a negative way.
Talk to them,
ignorance.
but a band parent can go talk to them, and and they're like, "Oh, I had no idea that had that much impact on the band."
Yeah. And some people, some soups, will look at money. All decisions are going to be based off of money. But if you can explain the money being spent and what the outcome can be, then they, like you said, it's not that they're doing it to hurt the program. Sometimes they just don't understand.
Just don't know.
But our last two superintendents, one just retired, and our new super was the assistant. Her son was a drum major and at another school before she came to Cameron. So having her with band knowledge helps us as a program too.
Yeah.
So that's great to have. And just building that core group with everyone has been solid for us.
Very cool. And I love what you brought up with visibility, because I'm sorry, I got to stop. The delay is so long. It's like 3 seconds. I feel like I'm on my Long Ranger at a stadium.
I think you look like Godzilla movie.
Chucky Chan.
Speed Racer cartoon.
Yeah. But with the visibility, our band parents loved having their own shirts. And that way it says band parents or band boosters or concession worker or whatever. And that goes a long ways when the principals look around and go, oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by 30 band parents, And I think our superintendent said it best when he goes, I love you guys, because I just did an 8-hour round trip to watch a 10-minute show.
Right.
I love you. Because I watched 10 minutes, I'm getting in my truck, and I'm going home. Give me a call how it came out. But I did love our administration.
Bringing that up because shows are 8-10 minutes long.
8 minutes.
And we're hours away. And they're texting me, we're coming.
Yeah.
Or, hey, hold us some seats.
Yeah.
Or, here's the results. I'll text them results for prelims. They'll go to volleyball or somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Do something, and then come back for finals. That's dedication on their end.
That is, because they don't have to do that.
No.
They can figure out an excuse.
Oh, yeah. So it's nice they've been present at everything.
Yeah.
I used to listen to my friend Jay Lester when he was the fine arts coordinator in Abilene talk about, well, I've got to go to Lubbock to do this part of this contest. Then I'll be driving up to Amarillo, see that. Then I got to zip back down to San Angelo. I'm like, what do you mean zip back down?
Yeah. So, we're talking 5 hours.
2 hours.
Anyway.
What would be your biggest goals or do you actually even think about this as far as long-term sustainability for the band program?
I threaten to leave every year to see if somebody wants to step up.
Everybody runs out of the room.
Yeah. They'll do everything, but don't want to do what I do.
Yeah.
And I told them, this is not normal. What I do is not normal. A regular booster president wouldn't do this. So try to ease it. But at the same time, I don't want to let go. And my wife will ask me, when? I said, well, I just got the school district, the little grassy knoll in front of the band hall.
Yeah.
That's where they're going to put my ashes. They've already looking into a plaque to put there. So that'll probably be my retirement place.
Yeah. It's a good plan. I just always told my son, who's now 32, said, just take my ashes and spread it on the practice field. That way the kids can walk all over me like they did for decades.
It just blow away on that.
Just blow away. The spirit of Lunney is gone.
Theme from Pocahontas in the background.
That's right.
Can you see with all the color?
Oh, Lord help us.
But yeah, as far as setting up, I don't want to call it a legacy, but I want to leave something where people can feel comfortable helping the students succeed. That's the biggest goal, is doing whatever we can for those kids and giving them opportunities they would never get. And so the program's set, and finding the right people to fill it won't be hard once they figure out, hey, we don't have to do it exactly because the structure's there.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of my hopes for the longevity end of it.
Cool.
Because I don't want to be known as that guy who hurt the program, especially with the booster club. We did history, and I want to say it's from like the 60s that the booster program's been in existence in Cameron.
Wow.
So, and there was actually Francis Cox, who our band hall's named after, actually started the band for Cameron 1933. And there's reports of him having an organization of people who help. So almost a band organization or booster program back then.
That is awesome.
So
the information is actually in the museum about that. So,
yeah.
So can I ask maybe both you can both say, yeah, not a valid question, but you've done this for a while. You've seen a couple of changes, regime, for lack of a better word, or a couple of staff changes. Have you found that when somebody new comes in, you can approach them and say, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but can I share with you the reason we've been successful or some of the things that have kept the continuity of success here? Do you feel like that's something a good band president can do? I'm band booster president, sorry.
Well, our last transition was with Mr. Shriver.
Right.
Who has, I guess this will be his 6th year. So he was first on my list when we did the hiring. But then afterwards, we had our first sit-down meeting together. First question out of his mouth, "You're the president?" I said, "Yes." "I always thought you were their director."
Oh,
Because they used to always come to contest in Cameron, and he thought I was a director.
Yeah.
He thought it was cool Cameron had 4 directors.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just the booster guy. And but that, because they see me and other schools see me everywhere, they just assume I work for the school.
That's awesome.
And so we had our sit down talk. He had already, band directors talk. He had already heard there's a booster program in place. Just go in and kind of do your thing.
Just don't mess with them.
And I'll do my job to make your job easier. And that's kind of how we left it. And it's been, what was hard on him, his first year was COVID year, which was hard on all directors.
Sure.
So,
well, Mike has kind of a rule that if you're first year at a new place, try to change as little as possible, or make sure you're not changing things just to change things.
Yeah.
Right.
And only change what doesn't make any difference.
Correct.
So, but my question is, Mike and Juan, is the band booster is the organization, not the president, is the organization maybe one of those things that you got to figure out pretty quick if they're a supportive organization or if they're maybe some things need to change? You understand what I mean? I'm not trying to stir up strife.
Well,
I'm just
no.
saying.
No. In all honesty, there is one job I went to that money had been stolen by band parents because no one else knew what was in the account. So we literally disbanded the entire organization for 2 years. And I was the band parent president as a director,
Right.
which is a conflict of interest.
Right.
It doesn't work, but we had to. And we rewrote the bylaws, restructured the whole process, put our people in, then it flourished. Because it's just like a band program. Something as amazing as Cameron Yoe, it can be destroyed in 6 weeks.
Definitely.
It can take 10 years to build, but can be destroyed in 6 weeks. So it's really hard. And but to your point, unless it's just catastrophic, and this was a situation where I knew money was being stolen, and it was a school board member's wife was the treasurer.
Which makes it
Yeah. So the superintendent at
to
this
say anything.
particular school said, Mike, let's disband all of that. We're not going to press any charges. Let's wait 6 months and see if the money shows back up. And it did eventually. They didn't know we were tracking it.
Yeah.
We had an attorney go to the bank. And so all of a sudden, 6 months later, that $13,000 showed back up, which is a Class A felony.
Yep.
And so no charges were ever pressed, but sometimes it gets to that level, but a smart director better assess the situation. And you can probably address this question. I know that every time I went to a new job, my new band parents had already talked to my old band parents. They'd already talked. So what's this Lunney like?
What should we expect?
Okay to work with? Is he a jerk, or is he? They've done their homework.
Oh, on both ends.
Yeah.
Directors talk.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
From past directors, from Cameron or wherever you're at.
You're right.
I'm sure he had information on me or our organization as a whole before he came there.
Yeah, I call it Dairy Queen meetings.
Yeah, definitely. No different than me doing my due diligence on finding out as much as I could about the director coming in.
Right.
Because ultimately, you don't want to bring someone in who's going to hurt the program in any way, form, or fashion. And so everybody's doing those Dairy Queen meetings, and we are very transparent. We invite people to come ask questions. They want to see our books. Come on. I bring in, and it's probably time, but about every 3 years, I bring in a third party CPA to look over the books and just say, yes, receipts match, money's going where it's going. And because it will shatter a program with theft like that.
Yeah.
And I've never understood why people do it, because ultimately the people you're hurting are kids.
Yeah.
And that's not fair. And so transparency is key.
And I don't think it's nefarious. I think in the situation I was talking about, I don't believe they were ever meaning to take all that money forever. It was just they had something come up on their farm, and they thought, if we get this money, I can put it back at Christmas. And then Christmas came up. And then finally they did put it back, but I don't think it's a concerted effort. But that's how all crime happens. It starts with a little bit of petty cash.
Yeah.
Then, well, they didn't notice. We'll do this. We'll put that back later. So I guess for bringing all that up, it's kind of a dark area. But for you band parents out there, make sure that somebody has oversight over your band parent account. It doesn't need to be you. It could be the school CFO. It could be the high school principal. They don't have to sign checks, but they need to be able to go down to the Cameron Savings and Loan and go, I need to see the accounts for the band parents. and they'll pull it up on the computer for them. So make sure that exists, because money is power. There's a reason in the Bible references to money are more prominent than references to love.
Yeah.
Think about that. God even knew, that money is a problem. Okay. So take all that for what it's worth.
Right. Well, let's start kind of heading towards a finish line. Mr. Ramirez, I'm curious. Have you spent some time? I guess consulting is the best word I can use. If somebody's trying to get something going, or if somebody wants to say, "Hey, I need to make sure we're doing this in a healthy way," are you open to helping other parent organizations?
Definitely, especially around our area. I've worked with maybe 5 different schools to just, they want to know kind of what we do to try to help theirs.
Yeah.
I had a phone call to try to help build one from scratch, that's a process.
That's an undertaking.
And then had one who said ours needs to be disbanded.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to look into it and say, this is probably what's best. And you hate to do, like me, I hate to do something like that because it's for the kids.
Yeah.
And if you take that one part away out of the 4, I believe it will hurt the success of the program.
Overall, right? Yeah.
Overall. So,
well, I say that because we've kind of exposed you today. For people that didn't know you before, you maybe have some interest. I just want to make sure you're open to that.
Very open. My company is a safety consultant company, so I do consulting already.
Right.
And it's funny. I'm also a medic instructor, so I recertify all the band directors on their CPR courses for the school districts.
Now, I was going to say, that's a service you offer to go to schools and
I've offered it.
Certify band staffs.
Yep, because I actually do Cameron ISD, Salado, Rogers, Rosebud Lot, Lake Belton. All those directors have been CPR first aid trained by me.
That is awesome.
So
awesome. Well, I can't thank you we kind of call it a peek behind the curtain, because, sometimes the organizations exist in spite of each other, if you understand what I mean by that. Mm-hmm. That I won't cross your side of the street, you stay off of my side of the street. I don't think that's healthy. I think that, as you said, the 4 pillars working together is so much better.
Definitely.
So
definitely.
I hope people got some stuff today. Mr. Lunney, what you got?
Hey, just a big appreciation for Juan dropping by and putting up with me. We're going to go get some good comfort food here now. It's lunchtime.
Well, before you head off into make me jealous there, Mr. Ramirez, let's assume a band director hears that and they're like, "Oh man, what can I do to help my parents get to a place like that?" Would you offer them any advice? Would you give them, this is the way you might approach your band parents to say, we can do this?
I'm open for it. And depending on where they're at in the state, I don't mind driving and being a part of the booster meeting.
Sure.
But see how they do it compared to what we do. I'm not saying that ours is perfect.
No.
But something has to be.
Well, it's just correct. Like band clinics. Band directors going and helping each other out.
Yep.
Mike and I talk about mentoring a lot. And then we have all these young guys that are like, I don't want anybody to know what I'm dealing with. Right. And Mike says you're too sick to go to the doctor. That's how we feel. That let me get a little bit better and then I'll go see what's going on. But I tell people all the time, if you don't get somebody to come in here and talk and help and assess, you'll never get better.
Never get better.
You're locked where you are if you won't open yourself up to. I get it. We get embarrassed over things that aren't our fault. But if I'm the president, then it's my fault. But listen, let's just figure out how to make it better.
Correct.
So anyway, I appreciate your time, sir.
Well,
A lot.
appreciate y'all for letting me come out.
Thank you.
All right. You guys go be great. Have some comfort food. Talk soon.
See ya.
Bye.